Everybody says marriage is not an achievement, but maybe it is if we look at it from a different perspective, right? But first of all, let's define what an achievement means. An achievement is something that you accomplish by great skills, great abilities, exceptional planning, something you're focused on for a long period of time and you finally accomplished it and you finally achieve it, right? That is an achievement, something you really, really worked hard for. Now let's bring it down to marriage. What is marriage? Marriage is supposed to be something that happens between two people, right? After they find love and then they feel like, oh my God, we're so perfect together. We should get married because I cannot see myself living without you. I don't want to live life without you. I want you in my life forever. That is marriage. And then they go ahead to get married, forming a union between two people, right? And then they live happily ever after. That is what marriage is supposed to be. From this definition, marriage is not supposed to be an achievement, right? Because it's not really something you're supposed to sit down and calculate so hard and then, put in your goals for the year and be like, okay, this year I must get married. It is not something that you really would sit down to plan and be sure that it's going to happen. Like, okay, I'm going to score 250 in jam this year. I want to score 250 in jam this year. And then you sit down and read so hard and then read your chemistry, your physics, your biology, and make sure that you do the exam and score. Even if you don't score 250, you probably score 240, 230. But you see that as an achievement because it's a goal that you can actually achieve, right? But marriage is not something like that. Marriage doesn't depend on just you writing your goals and then deciding to work towards it. It's something that just happens for you. You're lucky to find somebody that you're like, oh, let's do this together, let's get married. So it's not supposed to be an achievement in that sense because it's not really something that you're supposed to work towards, something that's supposed to just happen for you as somebody that, let me use the word lucky, right? You're lucky to find somebody that want to do life with you, right? That you're lucky to find somebody that says yes to doing life with you. So yeah, that is what it's supposed to be. So in that sense, it is not an achievement. But bringing it down to another angle. Now, when you're in a relationship with somebody or you're married to somebody, you are supposed to be very intentional about that relationship, right? In fact, you're supposed to go ahead and write it on a goal sheet that I want my marriage to be beautiful, and then you work towards it and make it work. In that aspect, thinking about it, you planning for picnics, you making sure you call your girlfriend every day, putting in hours to call and make sure she's okay, make putting in effort to buy gifts, know what she wants, what she loves, making sure that the spark doesn't, go away, the spark doesn't go away, and then the relationship is still fresh and beautiful. Putting in that hard work to make sure that you achieve a beautiful and blissful marriage, that in itself can be an achievement, if I do say so myself. From the definition of achievement, right? It is an achievement once you put in the work and you make it happen. But then again, don't forget that marriage is not just about you, it is about two people. So even if you're calling this person every day and you're trying to make sure that the spark is there and all that, and the person is not feeling it, the person is not feeling you, there is nothing you can do. Unlike jam, if you read for jam, you will pass. Unless if your village people are after you, and even if your village people are after you, you're still gonna get somewhere in life, right? So at the end of the day, that's the reason why every time we try to define marriage as an achievement, it just doesn't really, really work as much because at the end of the day, it's giving, no matter how much work you put in, if the other person is not willing to accept the work that you're putting in, it's not going to work. You can't accomplish anything, you can't make it work, right? No matter how skillful you think you are, no matter how many hours you put in, if the other person says this is not going to work, I'm not interested, I don't like you anymore, there is nothing you can do about that. So that in itself means that you cannot really define marriage as an achievement. Now, let's also now look at it from another angle. Let's look at it from the angle of, okay, these two people are in it. They want to actually be in it forever. They want to marry each other and stay married forever. And then they both put in efforts to keep the spark burning, keep the fire burning, the butterflies, they didn't let it die. They were intentional about making it happen. They put in work, hours of making sure my partner is fine, sacrificing so many things to make it work, right? And then at the end of the day, they have a blissful and a beautiful marriage. And then at 30 years of anniversary, they're still loving and giggling, and it's all blissful and living happily ever after kind of fairy tale kind of shit. In that aspect, looking at it from that angle, I would say it's an achievement, right? It kind of goes to say it's an achievement at that point when you describe it like this, when you get to that point after 20 years, after 30 years, and then you have this person that's your person, you're loving the person, you guys are perfect, and you've just lived a more graceful life because this person has always been by your side to make it work, right? So in that aspect, in that angle, it is an achievement to me. From the definition of achievement that we defined earlier, it is an achievement because it's a goal that you set. I want a blissful marriage, and then luckily for you, your partner also thinks the same, and then you both come together to make it happen. But it can only be an achievement down the line after many years of blissfulness. That is only when you can call it an achievement. So marriage in itself is not an achievement, but a blissful marriage that both of you have put in the work to make it like that, because marriage is not blissful by itself. Marriage is just marriage. It is only blissful when both people put in the work. This is actually another video, but you get what I mean. So in that in itself, after you've put in the work, both of you, that is when it's an achievement. So you cannot just be married today and you're like, oh, I got the ring finally. You feel like, oh, you've gotten one achievement because you're engaged, or you feel like you've achieved something because you're married. No, even if you're married for 100 years and then that marriage is not beautiful, it's not blissful, it's not an envy, it's not something that people would even want to envy. It's just there. It's just a normal marriage. That is not an achievement. It is only an achievement when it is blissful, when it is beautiful. From our definition, I am not the one saying it here before you come after me. From the definition of achievement, it is not until it is something that it's a goal that you wanted, that you really, really worked for, and then it happens. It is something that is not just blissful in your eye, but blissful to everybody's eyes. That is when it is an achievement along the line, along the years, many years actually. I know a lot of times people want to say marriage is an achievement when they find a great partner because they just feel like, oh, this is something so lovely that I have. This is something I feel so lucky to have. And they are just tempted to call it an achievement. Sorry, it is not. You cannot just call it an achievement because you're just blessed and lucky to have a wonderful partner that wants to do life with you and that is dedicated to you, even if it's beautiful. Sadly, we don't even have a lot of examples that we can even say, oh, marriage in itself is such a beautiful thing. It is only like that when two people decide to make it work. Even if one person is deciding to make it work, it's not going to work if it's just one person. And that is why you cannot call it an achievement, because even if you try to make it a goal and the other person doesn't want it, it cannot work. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I would say marriage is not an achievement because I've given like four scenarios now where it is only one of the scenarios that marriage could potentially be an achievement. It is not even all the way, right? With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you guys that marriage is not an achievement. But if you have a great partner and you guys have decided to put in the work, you are blessed, you are favored, you are lucky. To me, self, it is bigger than an achievement if you find um in itself, right? It is something that you cannot even say, I did it, I made it work. It is just something that the Lord blessed you with. You were just lucky to find a perfect fit, you know, you just favored. So it is even bigger than the word and achievement, right? It is it is amazing because you're just a very lucky person if you find an amazing partner to do life with. So yeah, it is even bigger than an achievement. If you enjoyed this video, I have others that you're definitely going to enjoy, and I'm gonna link them in the description box below so you can watch them and just enjoy yourself and have fun. Thanks for watching. My name is Benary Bello, and this is the Get Better podcast where we just talk about random shit. that are actually going to help us and navigate life better. And also, we have fun in between. And I think I do some vlogs now. So, yeah. Thanks for watching one more time. I hope you enjoy the rest of my videos. And before you go, don't forget you are enough and God has given you everything you need to succeed. All you need to do is push. Just push. You need to push that door for it to open. So, yeah. Thanks for watching one more time. See you in the next video. Bye. Namaste.